All right, man, we're going to be talking to Nial again. Nial from England, popular demand. You guys asked for him a second time. Here he is. All right, guys, that's in a minute. I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, so go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Fill out the 4-minute form. You'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. We're like you. Have best friends who live in Costa Rica, who know Costa Rica, totally hooking up your Costa Rica vacation. Hey, man, I love the subscribes. YouTube doesn't care. To see our videos in sequence, when we make them, you got to hit that notification bell. I would appreciate it. All right, so if you didn't see the first time we talked to Nial, I will put that link in the description if you want to, if you hadn't seen that one. But one of the other reasons we're talking now is because he's leaving our area tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be nice to go. I'm going to keep my location secret, I think, because I'm like that.
You don't need stalkers.
No, that's true.
So so the first video we kind of talked about, you know, if I recall, Costa Rica really was never on your map. You just, you must have read something good about during the COVID times and said, I'm going to go there.
Yeah, that was true, because I mean, as I told you before, that the only reference to Costa Rica I had was I went to the local supermarket back in England and to get some cardboard boxes to move, and there was a banana box which just said "product of Costa Rica" written on it, and I thought, oh, I wonder where that is. And then yeah, so.
And can you do me a favor, just to make sure, put the mic over here, since you're mostly going to be looking this way, just in case.
Oh, you reckon? Yeah. Oh God.
I'm sure it's fine now, but I don't like to take chances if you don't need to.
It should be okay. I mean, these are quite.
Yeah, they are, but I get all paranoid. And then you're leaving tomorrow. We can't do the video.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
We talked about, you know, that you kind of liked Costa Rica. Didn't know if you're going to completely live here, but was kind of maybe thought of.
Yeah.
So what are your? Let's just go over a quick, you know, some of your, you know, the good and the bad, real quick. We talked about it last time, but let's. Has anything changed since the last time we made the video? Are you still digging Costa Rica? You seem to like it pretty good, you know, before.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like it because I've always liked tropical places and I've always been drawn to them. And this does feel like, you know, one of the better places to be. I mean, unlike other places, like I've been to the Philippines, and a lot of the officials that you see are all militarized and armed to the teeth. You go to India's got too many people in it, you know, that sort of thing. Whereas this place is nice and empty and nice and chilled, and there's not really much problem. I mean, outside maybe San Jose, but that's a big city, so I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like any other big city, pretty much.
Yeah.
Don't mind visiting there for the night, maybe go to a party, but then you need to get out of there.
Yeah, get out of there really quickly. Also, it's not really like the, it's not really the, was it the prettiest looking skyline I've ever seen?
No, it's not. It is fun to go to sometimes, but usually if something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen there, so I don't know.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's really nice. I mean, you know, we've been here, me and my girlfriend, we stayed here, and then of course we went to Monteverde, which is on the other side of the lake.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, it was really nice. I want to put that in perspective for everyone. It's the same height as Britain's highest mountain peak, Ben Nevis in Scotland. It's literally the same height above sea level as that, and it's not on the top of a mountain. It's just in a town. And at that height, what I really love about it is the temperature is a bit milder. The trees are different. And
yeah, you're in the cloud forest. Was it cold at all?
Oh, well, the nights were a little bit cold, but for me it's just like a normal English summer in Devon. It wasn't, you know, about what, 22, 23 degrees in the daytime, maybe about what, 16 degrees at night. I actually found it really nice. I wasn't sweating for the first time in 6 months. So
for anybody that doesn't really know Monteverde, it's actually fairly close to La Fortuna's way the crow flies, but usually takes about three and a half hours to drive over there, and a lot of people take a boat. We call it Jeep. But Monteverde is a very known for its, you know, nature. You know, it's up in the cloud forest. It's beautiful. There's a lot of nice hiking there, a lot of nice national parks. They got some really nice zip lines over there and all that. So, did you do any of that?
Oh no, we didn't really have time. We weren't there for very long, so we just went to chill out, really.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but I know I'd go back there and do these things again if I had a bit more time. But I'm not one of these people who likes to rush into everything, you know. Otherwise, I'd have to take a holiday from the holiday that I've just had, you know.
How long? You just there a couple of days?
Yeah, about that. I think it was 3 nights, but we weren't there for very long. But no, it's really lovely. I mean, you know, when you get up there, I think the trees change, everything looks different.
Oh, it does, definitely.
The great big leaves like dinner plates you see down here disappear when you go up there, and it looks like, the best way I would describe it is that it has kind of the trees that you would recognise from the Mediterranean, but it has an England green about it. So it kind of looks like a mixture of Northern and Southern Europe. sort of indeterminate. But we were lucky when we were there because it was sunny and blue skies all the time, which is really unusual. But I think it's the dry season at the moment, isn't it? So,
yeah, that's kind of a tricky question because it kind of depends on where you are in Costa Rica. They like to say dry season for the whole country, but that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah, I love Monteverde. I haven't been there in a long time though, man. I don't think I've been there for like 10 years. I don't know why.
Yeah, that is nice.
So I alluded to the fact that well, you've been in Fortuna how long?
Oh, about between 6 and 7 months at this point. Yeah.
But like I said, he's leaving tomorrow on another adventure in Costa Rica. We're not going to say where, but just because just want to do some more exploring, getting tired of La Fortuna with the tourist, or you know what?
Well, it felt like this was the right place for me to sort out what I needed to sort out while I was here. So you know, like I say, when I left, you know, I had to find you after watching your videos because I had a difficult situation to sort out, and I'd looked at all these other Costa Rica YouTubers, and I kind of felt like a lot more of them were more interested in the money than they were in actually giving their time. You see, so that was the thing. So,
TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps.
It's true. More like kind of the little guy attitude rather than the corporate man attitude, which is better, you know.
Yeah, it's like they don't even want it. They won't even talk to you unless you're giving them money.
It's true. And
I don't know what that's about, but I guess, you know, people have to make money, whatever.
It's true. So I ended up thinking to myself, you know, when I got here, I mean, it just felt like, because Fortuna's all right if you like it, but for me, it just seems like a little bit too much of a tacky, trashy, touristy place for me. And that's all right if that's what you want. But for me, it's sort of like, it doesn't feel like somewhere I'd ideally like to live. So,
yeah, it's definitely, I'm not going to, well, I don't know about trashy, but the tour, you know, is very touristy here, especially during the high season, which well, you see, you live right by the street, you know, it gets very trafficky, and I have qualms about that as well, but I kind of, I don't know, this kind of place just wore on me, and I mean, I could do what I do anywhere in Costa Rica, really, but I like this hub. You know, I like the, you know, there is a little bit of a nightlife. If you want to go out and get a beer or something, there are things open. You know, you got the hot springs. I mean, there's some, you know, there's nice hikes if you want to do them. So but I could definitely see why you go, well, let's try somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a kind of retreat person these days. I think because I'm from the city originally, I'm from London, and I escaped the countryside when I was in England before I left. And so, you know, being in a place like, even though it's a small town here, it does feel like when you're in the middle of it, it feels like you're in the middle of a city. So
you mean here?
Yeah. So I thought I'm going to try a few other places and go around and see what happens. Sort of like, as I say, I threw a dart in a map pretty much and got here, so I want to throw another dart and see what happens again.
Are you in? I mean, we won't get too specific. Are you interested in more of a beachy scene?
Eventually, yeah.
I mean, there's 750 miles, so no one would ever find you.
That's true.
Or you. I think we kind of touched on this last video. I mean, do you like the nature part of it, or were you? If you settled, would you be by a beach?
I would ideally like to be by a beach. And I was thinking, you know, maybe going somewhere. Not not Tamarindo, I think. Not as I like to call it, extremely southern California.
Not a fan of Tamarindo either.
No, I mean, I looked at the Airbnb prices on there, and I thought, bloody hell, it's daylight robbery. This is just you know, how they're just inflating the prices. And you know what this is, don't you? This is middle class gringos with too much money on, and they're just overinflating that place. And I thought, well, there are other places you can go, aren't there? So maybe a little bit further south or a bit more somewhere remote.
You know, at one time, Tamarindo was the number one, before the recession in 2008, was the number one real estate market in the world. I mean, the guy, they had an article about this guy. I can't remember. I think he worked for Century 21, and just how much he sold, like some sort of, you know, $35 million worth of house. It was some weird thing, but the Tamarindo, you know, blew up too big, got too touristy, and now unfortunately La Fortuna's kind of getting like that. But what I like about La Fortuna is you can go out. You know, you don't have to be here. There's nice places all along, you know, even 10 miles from here. So I mean, I like that part about it, but Tamarindo, I never was a fan of there. Sorry, you guys from Tamarindo, but I'm sure you'd say the same thing about here, I guess. But I just think there's nicer beach towns?
Yeah, I think somewhere a little bit more remote, not too remote, but somewhere a little bit more obscure. I always like to do that, just because you know how it is. You think to yourself, oh God, I want to get away from, I don't know, you want to get away from the Western country or whatever. I want to get away from America. I want to get away from Britain or whatever, because it's full of idiots. And then you go to somewhere like Tamarindo and you think,
you're in a mood today, aren't you?
I know, I'm a little
you
bit.
said trashy, and oh my God.
Sorry, it's all ironic though. But that aside, yeah, that'd be my only gripe, is that because of because it has become a bit economically inflated here and there. But there are some other places I did have a look at that look like they have potential that I want to go to. I won't say where they are, but further down south, maybe along the beaches, along the coast.
I love when people say, I want to be off the beaten path.
Yeah.
When they say that, what they really mean, I want to be off the beaten path, but I want a freeway close to it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
I want to be. I don't want to be too remote. You know,
Yeah.
I need to be able to get to the store.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to be, as I say, I don't want to be number one in the, I don't want to be number one in the Billboard 100, so to say, but I want to be number one in the independent label charts.
Right.
That's how it
there
is.
You go.
You know, that's the best, metaphor I could come up with. So
on short notice.
yeah. So yeah.
Oh, so how do you feel about? I mean, I feel like you basically moved because of COVID, right? I mean, you didn't like the way England and Great Britain was going with their, right? Is that a fair statement? Or were you already going to do some of this?
Well, the real reason I came over here was because COVID meant I couldn't go to the Philippines to see my girlfriend. We had to come somewhere, and it was visa free for her, and it was also COVID relaxed as far as the rules will go here. So there was not many places that you could go where you didn't need to have a COVID test, or you didn't have to.
So it wasn't necessarily COVID itself; it was just the fact that you couldn't go there.
Yeah. Well, COVID made it difficult for me and her. I probably would have stayed in England, but I don't know. I
Really?
really
I
don't know.
thought you were. I must have got you wrong. I thought you were pretty
Yeah.
authoritarian.
Oh well, I am. But the funny thing about it now, it's they're getting rid of pretty much all the COVID rules there now. I look at Canada and I'm absolutely baffled what's going on there compared to. I don't mind saying this stuff now because I've lost, during reporting on COVID through the last 2 years, I've some people, didn't like some of the things I've said, and I can tell they're kind of that woke crowd. Oh yeah.
The kind of the Karens, the snowflakes, kind of the babies. They get offended really quick. Yeah. I lost most of those subscribers.
Oh, good riddance.
So I'm like, bye.
Yeah, bye.
But Trudeau is, he's not. I don't know what people aren't seeing about this. I do not understand. How do you not? Seizing bank accounts, and then you know what? We were just kidding about it being an emergency. We're going to keep this one.
Yeah.
We like this one.
Yeah.
I can't. To their own people. All of that just makes. I can't believe they don't start the trucking thing again.
Yeah.
And just go forget 70,000. We're going to bring 5 million people to.
Yeah. And there's also, just before I came down here, I was looking on Twitter and I saw that Justin Trudeau had put out an official tweet where they said Canada stands with Ukraine, with Justin Trudeau's name on it. I put a little reply underneath it and asked him, does that include Ukrainian truckers who are anti-vax mandates? Because he probably was like, or you're okay for them to be killed by Russians.
Well, that whole thing didn't make any sense. He wouldn't meet with them.
No. So
how do you go from not meeting to emergency measures with nothing in between?
Yeah.
Why don't you sit down? They're your people. Sit down, maybe get an understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because
I can't even, that stuff is just so sad to me, the way things are going. And unfortunately, I could definitely see, it's happening in the United States. It happened with WikiLeaks back in 2010 when Obama and them did it.
Well, I've noticed something that happened recently. I'm going to get a bit philosophical on you now because I've had a little bit of a thought about something recently. And since COVID come along, and especially in the aftermath of woke as well, something's happened. When we go through these times where totalitarianism rises and suddenly you find people with power and then they go drunk on power and they become insane. And that's happened quite a lot recently, and it's weird how it's happened mainly to Commonwealth countries, but I can think of, off the top of my head, there's Trudeau, as I say.
There's France.
There's Macron in
Australia.
France, Yeah, Australia. But you know, there's 3 of them, 4 of them actually that stick out for me, and that is Trudeau, Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand, who seems like a really crazy mental patient, you know, running a country, and then you've got Mark Drakeford of the Welsh government, and Nicola Sturgeon of the Scottish Parliament, and basically for the Americans who won't understand this, Britain has got what is known as a devolved system, where we have Westminster running Britain. England doesn't have its own devolved parliament because it's considered to be the dominant force, but Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland do. And what's happened as a result is we've got a couple of tin pot dictators running little fiefdoms. They're not really that prominent and not really that big on the world for the whole world to be talking about them, but I would say that like Drakeford and Sturgeon are like little Jacinda Ardern and Justin Trudeau in that sort of way, and they've been using that same language rhetoric to say that England is an outlier. It's an outlier and an outcast and won't conform with the rest of the playground because it doesn't want the government to keep its people safe, like all this communist bollocks talk that they're using. And England with Boris Johnson, who, I mean, all right, all his flaws and a lot of people don't like him, but he doesn't seem to have that kind of crazy, like what I call it, the Smaug dragon sickness going on him that all these other leaders have got. We've got a problem with, I think even Putin as well, we've got a problem in the world where power drunkenness, or, you know, power drunkenness psychosis seems to be taking over a lot of people. In a way, I'm really glad about that. That means any real proper conspiracy ain't going to work. It don't work if they all start losing their shit, because they'll drop the ball at some point, won't they? But
yeah, I want to circle this around because you know, a lot of people probably get tired of hearing the politics of it, but I don't know. I've been saying this lately. I'm really happy that 16 years ago I decided to come here. I didn't know what a great decision it ended up being. I'm really happy. I'm saddened by. I mean, I love the United States. I love, you know, I'm not a patriot or anything, but I am happy. I am not happy, but to watch it more from afar and not be right inside of it. And I don't know. It's almost like maybe people watching. Maybe this is the time to. Maybe you didn't know the decision you made just a little 6-7 months ago when you came here. This, you know, with the way the world is going, maybe it's kind of time to take a leap or make a major, you know, move in one's life. You know, if they don't, I don't know, like the way things appear to be going. And I can only speak. I get a lot of almost now. I mean, United States sends me the most emails, but right there close is Canadians.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I cannot. I can't tell you. I mean, the Canadians, man.
Yeah.
They're pissed. There's a lot of people that don't like Trudeau. So, but I mean, and it's like, I want to leave. I want to leave. Can I get my? They don't even. They're almost doing it like you did. They don't really know Costa Rica, but they know it's not that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, I think that you feel like you're very far away from the world here, and when the world feels like it's going to shit, you do feel like it's like a storm or a hurricane or something, but you're sitting in the eye. That's what it feels like here. You're in the eye, and there's no wind, there's no turbulence.
I think that has a lot to do with the people, though, because they don't. I guess maybe the closest thing would be the mask mandates.
Yeah.
If you're not wearing your mask, I'm not saying you you know, but they're not gonna run up and start yelling at you for the most part. Maybe one out of 100, but for the most part, they let you do you and they do themselves. Yeah, and I think that it's a lot less stressful. It's a lot less stressful when you don't have to, you know, pitting people against each other like they did in the United States with the vaxxed and, you know, versus unvaxxed thing. Everything was, you know, the fault of the unvaxxed. And, you know, well, they just don't do it like that.
No.
You know, they don't have those attitudes. So, and it's kind of nice. So I'm kind of digging that. I left a long time ago, and it's kind of worked out. And I'm just wondering, I mean, I know there's a lot of people wondering, man, maybe this is the time I need to make a move. Not saying it's to Costa Rica by any means, but Costa Rica's got, we could have 3 more videos about the ills of Costa Rica, you know, and some of their decision making. But as far as kind of flying under the radar a little bit more, kind of being able to do what you want to do a little bit more, I really do believe it's that kind of place. There's a lot of places like that. Again, I'm not trying to push Costa Rica, but.
Oh no, I do think this is, you know, it feels like a nice place to be, and it feels like at the moment, as I'm thinking back, if I was at home now, because I grew up, as I say, I spent the first 18 years of my life in the Cold War, and you know, when you're in the Cold War in Britain, you were very close to Russian nukes, and so I think there's something imprinted in me there, and I'm now thinking, well, if I was back home, am I now thinking of where's the nearest underground station? Can I go down the escalators and get down there really fast? Because I've only got 20 minutes to go before.
What's the general attitude of Great Britain, you know, right now? Are they they're just kind of watching? Are the people scared? Or are they like, oh my God, what are we doing? Because Boris was pretty vocal. When I saw him on TV, he sounded like, hey, yeah, let's get the tanks out, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, you know, because I mean, I don't really follow the mainstream end of it too much. But
I'm talking about the people. How are you have friends there, obviously? So what's people's views right now from there? Because you are right, you're not. This isn't like the United States. We're kind of secluded, you know, in our Cold War status.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, we're just in the firing line, so I think we're quite understated and apathetic most of the time about everything in the UK. That's what we kind of like, you know. We're sort of America. We often make this observation, I suppose, that America's very people will be Americans will either be scared shitless and over dramatic on one end, or in a state of jaw-dropping awe like that. Where Brits were just kind of indifferent and apathetic most of the time about anything. Oh, nukes coming, whatever. We like that, you know. We've because we're so close.
I would do good there. I'm kind of like that.
But then, you know, we won. You know, we wiped the floor with Hitler. We won. Was it the First World War? We're an island nation as well. So we kind of got this. You know, we kind of got a sense of resilience there, I suppose. So
I don't know. This just seems a little bigger because I mean, this hasn't happened since World War II.
So I don't know what the next generation. I mean, you know, I can't speak for what young people think, and also I've become so decoupled from mainstream attitudes that I can't even bring myself to watch like BBC or anything like that.
I don't think mainstream attitudes are mainstream attitudes. No. I think they just tell us they are.
Yeah.
Because when you walk around and you actually talk to people, most people are generally thinking the same thing. Hey man, I gotta make some money. I want my kids to be happy.
Yeah.
I want to get them educated, and it would be nice if I had some insurance so I could, if somebody got sick. Most people, but the mainstream tells us what, and then I don't think it is mainstream anymore. That's why nobody. That's why they're.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason people watch Joe Rogan. There's a reason people, watch Russell Brand. You know, I don't know if it doesn't matter what you think about Russell Brand, but a lot of people, you know, he's putting stuff out every day. His subscribers, he was just at 4.5 million. Now all of a sudden he's at 5 and past, and people are just. And that's nothing about Russell Brand, but people are going, hey, I can't trust over here. No, I can't trust this thing because it's not what's really it's not what's happening in my life.
No, you can't trust them, and that's the thing, you just don't know. And also, you know, the other thing is you go online and you find that a lot of people are far too far down rabbit holes. So if you go on Twitter, you'll have people talking about how they don't even think the war is real, and so you got these extremes. You got people who've got almost flat Earth type perspectives on one side, and you got propaganda from the mainstream on the other.
That's always going to be a truism. You know, you just, to me, if you want to beat an idea, have a better one. You know, and be able to debate it. If you can't debate and converse your ideas, or you're scared to do them, like in the United States. People on the left can't take a debate. They just got to cancel you because they can't handle it. Yeah, their views don't line up, and if they ever got in a debate, they would get smacked around. Yeah, well,
they're our totalitarians, and I think this is what we're worrying about at the moment. I heard there's one there's one comedian that actually there are a couple of them. Francis Foster and Konstantin Kisin, they do a thing called trigonometry, and the way they interview a lot of high-profile people. They're kind of like the equivalent of Joe Rogan of the UK. And one of them, well, actually both of them, Francis Foster's English, but his mum was Venezuelan, but he comes across as very English. Konstantin Kisin, on the other hand, is a Russian Jew born in the Soviet Union, been a British citizen since the 1990s. Sounds English now when he talks. And I've been listening to what he's been saying about say, Putin and China, that they want what we've got in the West, and they are taking advantage of the fact that the West appears to be weak and impotent at the moment, so they're trying to see what they can get away with right now. And this is...
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Except that the difference is in the West we think everyone else in the world is like us, but they're not. Most of the rest of the world are gangsters and thugs. Right. And one of the things that I like about being here, I suppose, in Central America, although you have a few what I would call thugocracies, is quite mixed. So you've got Panama and El Salvador and Costa Rica. The three places are probably okay to be in.
Well, I would say Nicaragua's pretty thuggish.
Yeah, Nicaragua may be a bit dodgy. Honduras maybe, you know, wide berth. But the good thing about here is we're I call this bit the bottleneck of the hourglass. This part, and it's so far away from the world, but it's also in a very convenient location as well. So I'm now thinking, well, it's nice that Moscow is God knows how many few extra 1,000 miles away from me. I'm also really happy about the fact that the United States is fairly far away too, and you know, all this stuff that's going on in the world, if the world's going to end, the end of the world's going to happen a few 1,000 miles to the north and to the east of here, and that's all right. You know, so that's and it'll just be here in a tropical paradise.
The views of Travel Costa Rica's Nial's guest doesn't. Wait, how do they say that? Isn't necessarily a viewpoint of TravelCostaRicaNow.com.
Yeah, that's all right. But I'm working on that one too.
I like to have people on with different views. I like that. I don't. You learn nothing from agreeing with everybody. Everything they say. True. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We need that kind of diversity of thought. We need that kind of intellectual pluralism. We need more of that. You know.
Right. I agree. So on the last video, you didn't really know how long you're going to be here. Has that changed at all? Are you still going to meander around the country for the next year or 6?
Yeah, I mean, I plan. I mean, at least for the next 2 years, I plan to be here. And
that's right. I think you did say that, didn't you? I think you said 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, if I go back to England, the way things are looking at the moment, if I do go back to England, I might just go back there to cut more of my ties with the place. I mean, I might just have a virtual address and be domiciled but not resident there. But I think I want to spend less and less time there. I think the Western world at the moment, I know, man, I'm not very happy about the future there. But this place seems really nice, you know, and I like it. This is I've always wanted to be, you know, I think all my life I've always wanted to be in a tropical place, a tropical green place. And this is like, what do I say, this is like a permanent good English summer, those rare permanent good English summers. This is like one that's everlasting here in Costa Rica.
I don't know, it just seems too perfect. I love, if there's going to be, you know, the worries of the world, I'd rather be here, you know, watching them.
Yeah. No, it's true, because it feels like you're a safe distance away from the craziness. So yeah, at least that's one way I agree with TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Is that, you know, this is it does feel like it's in a very a nice part of the world, and that if the world goes weird on us, it doesn't feel like it's going to go that weird.
Yeah, the island of Costa Rica would just still be floating around by itself. While the world
yeah, and I don't know, I mean, I'm not sure, maybe you can.
People are going to actually think I think Costa Rica's an island. You realize that, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you've lived there how long and you think it's an island? I made that joke before and people go, you're so stupid.
Well, it's sort of almost an island. It's got like
it's close. It's close.
It's got a maritime climate, you know, so it's, you know, got the same sort of wind.
You can get the Chinese to dig a canal and cut us off.
Oh yeah, as long as they cut us off from themselves as well, that's all right too. Hey?
Well, you know, China's kind of in with Costa Rica.
Are they?
Yeah, they built a stadium. They just last week, I think, gave Costa Rica 5 or 3 electric buses, like that. They've given them bicycles, but the kids' bicycles, and well, again, the soccer stadium was huge. So, and I think police cars one time.
Oh yeah, but I trust that what they're going to want back in return for it, man.
Yeah,
that's the end of trouble, you know. But that's what I was going to ask you, because I'm not sure about this myself. Maybe you could help me. Is Costa Rica reasonably self-sufficient in food? Because it does seem to be a bit of a breadbasket here.
Well, I think so. Yes, because all the staples are here. I mean, you can, you know, even in where the government, you know, between the freeways and people owning land, you know, a lot of times those are all fruit trees that you can get. The public can go and take stuff from. But there's too much stuff grown here.
Yeah.
You know, they have the cows.
Yeah.
They have the cows. They have all the vegetables, all the fruits.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the green markets. You know, that's not coming. That's aren't coming from the States. The only thing that comes from the States is Lucky Charms. You know, and peanut butter and things that, you know, like that. But you could easily live here if you were a vegan or a vegetarian or just didn't eat that much. You could live pretty good down here.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the things.
And gardens. I mean, everyone's got their own little garden, and organic stuff's popping up a little bit more, and so no, food doesn't seem to be an issue. It's just imported crap.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, it's one of the things that I was thinking about here, because I can imagine if food inflation happens in the world, it's not going to be easy to live in, especially not in the UK, because we have a short growing season and a large population. It's not going to be an easy place to be, but here there's hardly anyone, and it's incredibly fertile, and everything grows all year round here. So,
yeah, and plus the whole rice and beans thing, you know, two pretty easy, cheap staples, you know, if you have to, so. I don't know, most Costa Ricans, even the ones that don't have a whole lot of money, when you see their little tin houses, people go by there and they're like, look at that poverty. Most people, they don't feel that really. They got a roof, they're eating. Don't tell them they're, you know, not living a decent life just because they have you know, maybe a sort of a tin looking house.
Yeah, I mean, that's all right. I mean, you know, but it's understandable. I mean, where I come from, you need a house that can keep the heat in. So you need to have cavity wall insulation, and you need to have double glazing. But here you don't in the tropics, so I'd be quite happy to live in a tin house. As long as it was, you know, well maintained, it was made out of the best quality tin.
Or even like an open. I actually do like the, you know, how the restaurant things are all wood and they're open. I kind of like that whole thing. I mean, you'd obviously, if you had your own house, you'd have to be able to secure it. But I've always liked that open space with the nice wood and, you know, what they do here.
Yeah, it's nice. And so I'll just say.
So are you packed?
I'm almost. Got to go tomorrow at was it 11 o'clock? I think we arranged for hopefully a pickup truck or a rather spacious vehicle to be able to bring us to our next destination.
Do you have a lot of stuff?
Not really, but I think I got a little bit more than I did have. And between us, I don't want us to be too cramped. If we just got a normal taxi, might be a little bit too cramped for us now. So I want to make sure that we have some space to move while we're going anywhere. You know. All
right, now, well, I hope you have a nice. Well, your adventure continues, and it seems like it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's been all right. But I say I'm probably going to pop back on the odd occasion. So I'm probably. You know, I'm okay to pop back and be on this channel again if you're about, we can arrange it.
Yeah. Oh, I should mention, if you didn't see Niall on the first video, Niall is a kind of opinionated. He's got his own. He's got also his own YouTube. I will put that down in this description as well if you want to hear some more of Niall's thoughts on a lot of things, politics and stuff.
What to say? Yes, if you want to hear what to say. If you want to hear an Englishman talking bollocks, come to my channel. Hey.
I'm not going to have him on anymore because he called La Fortuna trashy. I can't take that. Cancel.
He's so offended.
Cancel. I'm offended. I was started to cry, but I was like,
that's all right.
All right, now, thanks a lot, man.
All right, cheers, Michael.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to see you again. It's like, but again, new adventures, and it's always fun to start those. Actually, that's what I want to do. Me and Dan, so he got his new computer. Now we want to start kind of going on the road a little bit and, you know, videotaping like on the road, on the fly.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be a really cool idea. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. That's Niall. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Ciao.
Cool, that's in the can. Hope that's worked.